Kuramoto, and welcome to the launch of RKT Media Hawaii Presents Social from a Distance. And these are going to be live discussions where we explore topics that are relevant, that are interesting, that are important during this time, because we're just like you. We know that you want information that you can use right now, ways that are going to help you make decisions about your life and your business, and things that you can start doing right away. So, of course, we welcome your questions. And if you have any questions, we encourage you to send them our way anytime during this discussion. We're live on Facebook, and these are also going to be posted on our website, rktmediahawaii.com, where you can watch this video on demand. So to start this series, we're going to delve into a topic that we're pretty familiar with here at RKT Media Hawaii, how to go live. And the fact that you're watching this obviously means you know the importance of live streaming and how it's pretty much everything right now as far as how we're connecting, how we're communicating, and it's probably how we're going to communicate and connect going into the future. So what do you need to know in order to start your own broadcast? And to talk about this, we go to our own in-house expert, Ryan Kalei, Tsuji, President and CEO of RKT Media Hawaii. Hi, Ryan.
How's it going, Joe? Good to see you.
Good. And just so that everybody knows, we are not going to just be interviewing each other here at RKT Media Hawaii. We're going to actually have a variety of guests who are experts on a variety of different topics that are important and relevant and interesting, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be that engaging if we just take turns interviewing each other.
Right. So, I'm excited about this, Ryan, because I know that we work with a lot of experts in many different fields, and we're going to be having them on the show, and we're going to be able to share some of their insights and knowledge with everyone in a fun and lively way, and it's really, really needed right now.
Yeah, that's right. I think if there's anything that we've learned through this whole COVID-19 pandemic is really how people are engaging and how people are communicating in new ways. And I think for us, this is an opportunity to really help educate our clients. As you said, we've been doing live now for some time now, and we've been doing it since we sort of launched the company, in fact. And so it's great to see how it's really evolved in these past few years, and especially just in the past few months, is now it feels like everybody's going live, which is great because that's just the way that we communicate and connect now.
Yeah, I think people are getting a lot more comfortable being on camera as well. So that's that's a whole new world for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, so like many companies, RKT Media had to pivot during the pandemic. And so let's talk about some of the adjustments that RKT Media had to make.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of like a lot of people, when this sort of all happened and all sort of came about, we went from having 45 scheduled shoots that we were working on in projects down to just 2 in 1 week. Because oftentimes, as you know, and many people know, that when these things sort of happen, budgets get tighter. And the first thing to go are marketing budgets. And so a lot of people just put things on hold. And so we were kind of in the position of what do we do? Luckily, we were able to get, like many other businesses, supported by the federal government through the PPP loan program. And that was able to sort of sustain us for that time. But we knew that in that process, we had to not only pivot, but evolve. And Jason Cutnella from NMG said that best. I don't want to take claim for that, but he said, I don't like the word pivot. I like the word evolve. And I think that's really appropriate because we have to evolve. It's more than just sort of turning. It's about how do you change your plan and your businesses. And so we kind of made that effort and that decision to really focus on going live and helping our clients go live, because we knew that was going to be a pivotal part in getting messages out there and providing services where we can expand on that. And so we have been busy trying to help people through that process of going live, while also continuing in our normal services of VNRs and video recaps, because if there's one thing that people are doing right now, everyone's on their phone. Like everybody is scrolling. Screen time is up through the roof. And so we know that video content is still more important, but we have to find a way to make it more affordable because just price points are lower. So we changed and provided a new price point for videos. And then, just trying to find ways where we can help communicate a more strategic marketing plan for our clients and how to communicate during this time of COVID.
Right. So that's something that RKT Media was able to do for the clients, was present something that was just a lot more affordable, a lot more accessible, and kind of understandable when everyone's trying to switch to this whole new world of virtual connecting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we launched, I mean, our campaign was Onilike Kako, which means moving forward together. And so we kind of made the strategic effort to find ways where we can help our clients move forward together, right? And not only from a video standpoint, but trying to tier everything together in messaging and how you're communicating, how we are also broadcasting live, like we initially said, and also through the video content that we also provide.
Right. So let's talk about some of the platforms that RKT Media does provide, and then we can talk a little bit more about what people can do to start their own. So let's start about what RKT Media has right now.
Yeah. So one of the things that, of course, that we wanted to do is we really wanted to find a way where we could provide a variety of services, because there's different types of services and there's different types of levels to the degree of what people need to go for streaming live. I think one of the things that is the most popular right now, of course, is Zoom, right? So Zoom is one of those platforms where we do offer that basic coverage, is what we call it, because the thing about Zoom is more of a video conference application more than it is a live streaming application. So, of course, it's great for those people that are having these large gatherings, right? Because you can bring in multiple people and all being part of that conference call. But one of the things that it's limited to is just its overall capabilities and the bells and whistles. It doesn't have a whole lot of that, but it gets the job done. So, you know, a lot of people are using it for their breakout rooms because they have that great feature. It's pretty simple to use, so it's pretty user-friendly. But in terms of broadcasting-wise, it doesn't necessarily make for the best live stream videos. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of these campaigns, and even some, you know, people are doing it, you know, broadcasting their Zoom conference calls on television. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look great, you know. Right. It just kind of, there's a bunch of different screens, and when people talk, they interrupt each other.
Right, and it also kind of depends on the Wi-Fi and the kind of technology that the person who has the link has. Yeah, I mean, so the quality is all going to be very different.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, it's great. It gets the job done, again, for video conferencing, but it's not the best platform for if you're trying to broadcast. And the other thing is, if you're using it as a live streaming application, you can't really involve the audience. Like, you're not going to be able to get questions in from Facebook because you have to go basically back outside of the app to look at comments and then bring them in and say them. So it gets the job done, but I always tell our clients, like, you want to be better than Zoom. You want to be better than what everyone else is doing. It's a great basic line, but there's other ways to do it better. And one of the next, so that's the first one. The second one that we offer is Streamyard, which is actually what we're broadcasting live on right now. And so Streamyard is a browser-based. It's not, you don't download it like Zoom and some of the other ones. You're, of course, using this through your Wi-Fi and through your browser. It's run on Chrome, and it's pretty reliable. You know, we've worked with a few other ones, excuse me, but Streamyard is proven to be the most consistent. And it allows for a bunch of different things. As you can see now, we have multiple camera angles. If Jill and I wanted to get closer, our producer can zoom on in and we can get closer, so it's a tighter shot. We can add graphics. You can add animations. You can add video that you saw in the beginning. You can also add these title cards, as well as engage audience. So as people type in questions, we're able to automatically post it straight onto the platform. So it's great. It's a great basic tool for those that want to go live and want a more polished look. And the other great thing is it allows you to download the video at the end, and you can save the video as well as the audio file. So that's one of the great things about Streamyard, which again is what we're using right now.
All right. And then there's also something else, Move, right?
Mevo.
Mevo, sorry.
Mevo, yeah, Mevo is
Mevo, yeah.
Mevo, Move, same thing. I think Mevo is Spanish for move. No, I don't know. It's just made that up. Oh, anyway, so Mevo, yeah, Mevo is it's a camera that is basically a pocket-sized camera that films in HD, and it allows for multiple camera angles just based off of that one camera. So we sort of set up the camera. It's a wide-angle lens, and it allows for editing that's done while the event is going on. So it's great for events. It's great for live music. So if you have somebody and you want to focus on somebody else, the camera actually, through technology, focuses on people's faces. So it appears like you have multiple camera angles. So it's a great little tool to have. It runs off a cell tower. So it's a lot more reliable in that sense. You can also run it off of Wi-Fi as well, but we've used this many times in the past. Most of our live streaming have been done through Mevo, and we found that Cell Tower works better. There are upgrades that you can upgrade and allow for graphics and things like that, but the basic plan is pretty durable, and it's great to have. And it's a program where you can also download the video in HD quality once your live broadcast is over. So it'll run you about $1,000 to buy the camera. But again, we have bought the camera and we rent it out and we use it through our services at RKT Media. Yeah. And sort of the last one that we kind of have is the multi-camera setup, and it's called eCam. And so eCam is for more of those polished looks. We recently did the Make-A-Wish Hawaii online digital fundraiser virtual gala. And so we ran it through eCam. The great thing about eCam is a lot of these other programs that I said, like Zoom and Streamyard, they're using, of course, your web camera. But eCam allows you to set up separate cameras. So we can use our DSLR, our DSLR cameras. We can use other cameras. You can use your iPhone. You can use an iPad. So you can have multiple camera angles. That's great for overall engagement. You can also bring in up to 5 guests through Skype. And it has video playback. You can use countdowns. It's a great app. It's secure, and it gives you that really polished look. It almost is more of what I think if I had to guess, I'm not saying they are, but like if Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, like those late night hosts who are also doing this, that's kind of the feel that it has. It has a more polished look and is more reliable for those virtual events. So those are some of the 4 types of streaming platforms that we offer right now.
Okay, and so if someone is thinking about starting their own broadcast, what are some of the things that maybe they should ask themselves, or what should they know before they go into this?
Yeah, I think that's an important question that everybody has to sort of realize is, of course, live is great because you are able to get your message out there. I think one of the biggest things is consistency is greater than frequency. You want to be able to have a consistent basis of when you're going live, because you want people to know when they're going to tune in. So it's better to have sort of a regular scheduled thing rather than just a bunch of lives for a week and then you fall off for a little while. So you want to be able to find, a routine. I always say people always knew when Game of Thrones was coming on. It was Sunday evenings, right? Because it was consistent. You knew when it was coming on. It's the same thing with these broadcasts. You want to make sure that it's consistent and that people know when to tune in. The other thing that I always tell our clients is you really need to ask yourself, why are you going live? Like, what is your intention? You don't want to just go live to go live. You really want to look for ways where, one, you're going to interact with viewers. Is there a way where you can post questions? What is the value that you're adding on later? Because if the case is that you're just doing it to be on Facebook and just to have that live video, the other alternative is just to do what we call, like in our industry, as look lives, right? Where you just kind of tape the broadcast and you run it live rather than actually being live. The whole point of it is you want to engage with viewers, you want to interact, you want to talk to those you're on social media. So that's the big part I think that you need to really determine is if you want to go live, like looking out for what is the purpose and why you're doing it. And I think a lot of people that we've been talking to about going live, they always ask, well, if I go live, aren't I giving away like my secrets? Especially right now, right? Businesses are just trying to look for ways to get out there. And we heard, like, do I want to tell people how I'm, making this recipe or how to cook this? Because if I show them how I'm baking this, why would they come in to my restaurant after that if they can make it at home?
Right. That's the whole point of it, is that you do want to share with them because you want that engagement. And I think that's something that live streaming is able to do that no other platform can. It's really engaging and really involving your audience.
Yeah, and you're trying to build that loyalty, right, with your audience. You're trying to say, like, hey, I'm willing to show you how to make this. And at the end of the day, you want to become the expert in that field. You want to be known as the person who can make this dish, or want to be known for the broadcast that presents you these types of information, because when people need you, they'll go to look to you because you're the expert. So I wouldn't view going live as, oh, I'm giving up my secrets and people are going to know how we do this now and they're going to do it on their own and they're not going to come to use us as a business. It's really about the interaction and then establishing yourself as that brand.
Exactly. I mean, that was going to be my final question to you, is why is it important to get your message out? And I think you nailed it right on the head. It's really about building those relationships. That's what your message is really about. And especially during this time when we can't be physically near each other, that building a relationship through storytelling, through communicating, through demonstration, I think are all very important to building trust, relationships, and as you said, as a leader in your industry.
Yeah, and it's about really that brand loyalty, right? You want to be able to show value to your clients and to the people and the customers that you're serving, that you are finding ways and opportunities to get their message out there. Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are stuck at home still. I mean, we've reopened in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, we're still socially distant. We're not seeing as many people as we do. And so anytime you have the opportunity to really get out there and to talk to your clients, talk to your customers, give them updates, because I always say, what is the first thing that people do when they want to know, is your restaurant open? Are you guys doing this? They'll Google you, right? Or they'll go on your Facebook page, or they'll go on, to see what you're posting about. So you want to be able to update your customers and clients about what's going on in your business, how you've adapted, how you've maybe taken social distancing protocols, and how you're keeping your environment safe for your customers. All those things are important, and that's a message that needs to continue to go out.
Exactly. And I want to just throw in one more thing. I think authenticity is really an important part of your messaging, because you really need to have a position of, what you're talking about, and it's coming from your mission and your goals as who you are as a company, as a brand. And I think that's probably the most important part of when you're ready to go out with your live stream. What is your authentic reason for doing so? And I think there's some questions, like you were saying, I think people want to know certain things about what's going to help them feel more confident right now, what's going to help them be more in control of their environment. So what's going to help them address bigger questions, even things like, what is the future going to look like? Or should I start planning for the future? Or can I even start planning for the future? So those, I think, are all part of where you can step in as an authentic message of who you are and what you can bring to your audience, and whatever form that takes.
Yeah, and I think it has to come from you, right? Like you said, you want it to be authentic. You want sort of your top CEO or your spokesperson to be able to have that opportunity to speak out and to address some of those concerns, because we know that there are a lot of questions, as you said. All these people are wondering and in some ways concerned about certain aspects of the services that you provide. And so you want to be able to provide that authenticity and to provide that voice, and for the message to come directly from you. And I also think the other thing is that the value of this is we're looking at just how we get information out a lot differently these days, right? Because, I mean, think about it, Joe. We're both in the TV, we come from TV backgrounds. I would have never thought that people would tune in to watch these hour-long press conferences by the governor and the mayors. I mean, we see that every day, but yet people are tuning in and they're staying engaged. I mean, we would have never thought of back in 5 years ago about running a press conference live for its entirety, but now people are tuning in. And so it's just the way in which we get information is so different now than it was at the beginning of this year. And so things like these live broadcasts are really changing the way that people perceive things. And it's no longer just sort of these flashy videos, which are still good for some degrees and some causes, but for the most part, it's such a different world now in which we consume information.
Absolutely. And so I think this is a really important topic, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're actually going to delve into in a different topic later on. We're going to delve into more deeper issues about the technical side of putting together a live streaming broadcast, right?
Yeah, so this is sort of our kind of broad strokes overview of what the live broadcast looks like. We know that there's a lot of more technical questions. So I know we said that we're not going to talk to ourselves, but we're going to bring in our video director, Mike, to talk about some of those more specific things. But really, it's a way to kind of inform people about other things. I know that you have a few ideas as well that we're going to be bringing in some of the people, and you can talk a little bit more about that. But we're going to dive into more how we did that virtual gala, because we know a lot of nonprofits and events can no longer be held. So we're going to talk to people about what does that look like? How do I create this virtual event to help engagement and help to raise money? We're also going to be talking more about sort of communicating through a crisis, also about highlighting how do we use another thing that's big is just YouTube and Facebook ad buys and Instagram ad buys. How do you find time, and how do you navigate through that whole process of paid for ads that run on these social media platforms? So all those types of things we're going to be doing here on this program that we're really excited about.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thank you, Ryan. And thank you for joining us for this first episode of Social from a Distance with RKT Media Hawaii. And we hope you'll join us again for another fun, informative discussion. And you can also follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and check out our website, rktmediahawaii.com. So take care and stay safe, everybody. Thanks.
Aloha.